All right, welcome back, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the weekend so far. Meteorologist Jeremy Capel with you on the Saturday, March 29th, 2025. Unfortunately, looking at multiple opportunities for strong, severe thunderstorms and tornadoes, unfortunately, will be a possibility by late over the weekend. And again, as we head on into the middle portions of next week, going to be a busy time. We had a nice little break here the last week and a half, but all that is beginning to change. That first low pressure system already back across the U.S. It's beginning to bring up the moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico, and with that, we are seeing the shower activity that's taking place. And really, none of this is severe across the south right now, or the Ohio River Valley, just seeing some general shower activity there. You make your way north, you got a mixture of rain and snow across portions of the northern Great Lakes right now. And then closer to that low, we are seeing that area of low pressure wrapped up with snow to the north, a little bit of freezing rain with that as well. But the severe risk, at least for tonight, it's going to be pretty confined, pretty limited across portions of the plains. They've got the Storm Prediction Center, that is, has two areas in yellow, one south of Kansas City to near Oklahoma City, another one near the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. This is for this evening and overnight tonight, the risk of some stronger thunderstorms. Honestly, that doesn't look like that big of a deal to me, but as we head on into your day two, huge enhanced risk. The meteorological entity began to talk about this guy about a week ago. And within this enhanced risk, this is primarily for this evening and overnight tonight. Unfortunately, there is going to be a tornado risk with that as well. In fact, about a 10% risk area there in the yellow does include southern Indiana, much of central and western Kentucky, southern Illinois, the boot heel of Missouri. We're talking about eastern Arkansas, also western and central Tennessee, as well as northern Mississippi and northwestern Alabama, parts of Dixie, outside of that brown area there. That's a 5% risk for tornadoes. There's also a significant tornado risk with this as well. The Storm Prediction Center will issue that hatched area there of red, indicating anytime there is a possibility of an EF3 tornado or greater. So unfortunately, they're throwing down kind of some heavy wording with this, but I just want to hold back a little bit and just suggest that we have already seen worse looking storm systems so far this season that haven't panned out that well. So I don't want to overemphasize the tornado risk. We likely will have a few spin-ups here into your Sunday night. Don't think that's going to necessarily be the greatest risk with this storm. With that being said, though, this is not the only issue we're looking at as we go on into your day three. That is a general slight risk of severe weather from southern New York all the way down to the Gulf Coast. We'll get a break on day four with just a very small area there of 15% hatched across the central U.S. But day five, I'm particularly interested in this here. This is Wednesday this coming week, and I really think that one could pose some problems for portions of the Ohio River Valley. That tornado threat will be there, but I also think we're looking at a flooding threat as we head on into the middle and second half of this coming week. So let's get into some of the data with you. We'll start you with the European forecast model here. Upper level jet stream winds over the continental United States. And you can see we do have those upper winds beginning to increase here as we head on into your Sunday and Sunday night. That's what's going to be responsible for the stronger thunderstorms that do develop. I'm not blown away by the amount of energy with this particular system. The one coming in behind it is going to pose a bigger problem, I think, as far as upper level energy. We'll get to that. Let's get into the timing here. We've got showers and thunderstorms that are ongoing right now, but the main thrust of severe weather will not be here until late on Sunday. The storm's going to take a little time to pull up that low-level moisture, but you're probably already feeling it. With spring again arriving, the grass is greening, the trees are budding, there's more moisture in the air. And that means there's going to be more fuel for these thunderstorms. As we head on into your Sunday afternoon, you can see that fuel being pulled up here. This is product here is CAPE. It's convective available potential energy. It's essentially the amount of fuel the atmosphere will have for thunderstorms to feed on. Anywhere you see that yellow is where you're getting over 1,000 units of CAPE. You get to the orange, that's over 2,000 units of CAPE. You get into the red, that's about 3. And those thunderstorms will have an opportunity, again, to do some business, especially into the evening hours on Sunday. They should gradually weaken after that. There's not a ton of wind energy, but there's significant wind energy with this to be a legitimate tornado threat as such. We are seeing the STP numbers here, that significant tornado parameter, hitting at around 6 or 7 during the late afternoon and early evening hours across portions of far western Kentucky and Tennessee, maybe far southern Illinois, and that's probably where the greatest risk of tornadoes will be before that begins to unwind a little bit as we go into the overnight period Sunday night. Let's take a look at the future radar. This is according to the high-res NAM, and we're going to pick things up right now. Just general showers and thunderstorms across the Ohio River Valley. There is going to be thunderstorms, are going to be thunderstorms developing across portions of the plains. Those could be marginally severe overnight tonight, but most of the severe threat's going to wait until late on Sunday. We'll get some heating during the day on Sunday with those temperatures well up to the 70s ahead of the front, and then we'll watch the actual front. That's what we're looking at in this image here. Those brighter thunderstorms moving across portions of central Illinois. That'll happen by late afternoon. And we're going to posit right here, about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, that squall line really begins to develop, moving into Indiana with a wind and a hail threat, small tornado threat there too. But this is the time frame here, about 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. Let me back that up. Here we go. 7 o'clock in the evening. Now we're looking at, again, that potential of some tornadic activity, maybe with some of these cells before they line out, before they go completely linear and become more of a wind and hail threat. And then that line should reach areas like Evansville, I would say by around 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening. Paducah as well. You move towards midnight. Make that 11 o'clock. You're moving into the Louisville metropolitan area. Cincinnati seeing some heavier thunderstorms. And then after midnight, it moves to the east and pretty much weakens. Now, we will see these storms flaring back up here as we head on into your Sunday. As mentioned, that's going to bring with it a very small risk of tornadic weather, really some severe thunderstorms, some damaging winds, maybe some small hail. Not a huge deal. Now, let's go back to the second system, because this is the one that I'm a little more concerned about. As mentioned, Sunday, yes, enhanced risk, but it's Wednesday that we're looking at that bullseye of a 30% risk 5 days out. That tells me that the Storm Prediction Center is looking at this like I am, saying, hey, there's a lot of ingredients here. So let's go into some of these ingredients here for Wednesday. And we'll start with those jet stream winds, as they will absolutely be cranking, unlike what we're expecting here late Sunday and Sunday night. These winds are going to be categorically stronger. They're going to be a whole nother level stronger, and that could pose some problems. You'll also notice the trajectory of these winds out of the southwest. This is a deep southwesterly flow. So you got a big trough digging into the western U.S., and that means you got big high pressure, a blocking high that's helping to pump up the moisture on the east side of this thing. So we're going to have moisture returning. We're going to have wind energy aloft and a lot of that. And with that, that means that we're going to be under the gun, unfortunately, for some nasty storms. Let's back it up first. We're going to show you what we're expecting Sunday night. Those storms visiting the East Coast on Monday. We'll get a nice little break behind it. The Great Lakes, the Midwest, the Plains, no problems here Monday. Tuesday starts off kind of dry, and then that next low pressure begins to fill in with rain and storms across the plains late Tuesday night. And then you can see more snow for the northern plains. That's right, winter is not over for the northern tier of the U.S., but that low, pretty strong. 983 low is what we're showing here. And like the previous one, that's going to help to bring up the moisture. Here's a look at the CAPE values with the second storm. Again, look at yellows. Yellows mean 1,000 or above this time of the year. That is sufficient for severe weather. Once you get into that orange, you're 2,000. You get into the red, you're 3,000. And these numbers, again, are very high for this time of the year. So we're going to have wind energy. Yes, we're going to have low-level moisture. Here's a look at that wind energy. These are 850 millibar winds, so winds at about 4,000 or 5,000 feet above us. As we head on into your Wednesday, these winds are cranking above us. In fact, anywhere you see the white color there, that is 62 to 66 knots. That is about 70 knots there in the brighter white. 70 knot, that's about 80 mile per hour winds at about 4,000 to 5,000 feet. That is a ton of wind. So with that, we think we're going to have some problems. So let's go on into your future radar. We're going to start you off on Tuesday here with showers and thunderstorms across the plains. Again, some of those storms could be on the strong side. So that's Tuesday night, I should say. Storms develop. This is Wednesday morning. Storms begin to move to the east. Sub-severe Wednesday morning. First part of the afternoon, we're probably okay, but late afternoon and evening with heating, those storms will get cranking. Again, snow and ice for portions of the northern Great Lakes. At low pressure, though, I want to point out this. That front arrives, it brings a ton of rain. Severe weather as we head on into Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, but the front stalls. And that means that we could see prolonged period of rainfall across portions of the Ohio River Valley, portions of the Mississippi River Valley. And because here it is, this is Thursday, still showing that rain. That boundary just hangs up, and it could rain for several days. And finally, another low moves up next weekend. And so this stuff may not get out of here until late next weekend. So we're going to have a week almost straight of rain. And with that, there is that flood threat that I would be a little concerned about. The numbers here by the European forecast model reflecting the rain that is expected to fall over the next 7 days. Look at the numbers here, though. If you look closely at these figures, we are seeing vast area here where you're looking at rainfall on the order of 1 to 2 to, maybe locally 2.5 inches. But look closer, and I'm going to try to make my highlighter a little better for you. In the dark reds, these are 4 to 5 inch amounts. And then you start to see the grays or the whites. These are 6, 7, 8 inch amounts. If you look closely there, those are 10 to 12 inch amounts across portions of western Tennessee and into southern portions of Arkansas. I don't want you to look too closely at that because the placement of this will likely change. But what may not change is the amount of precipitation that's coming. It could turn out to be a situation of, well, where? And with that, while we do have that risk of severe weather that's been posted for Wednesday, it does include the possibility of tornadoes. I want to point out the fact that the Weather Prediction Center has issued a slight risk of flooding. This is flash flooding, and it's not a insignificant number they're showing there. That is a 15% risk for the second half of the week. It does include Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Louisville, Evansville, and Memphis, and perhaps Little Rock, Arkansas in that. So a lot of things to talk about here over the next several days. Multiple rounds of severe weather. The tornado threat will be there. I think fairly limited here for your Sunday evening. More pronounced for Wednesday. And then we'll have the flood threat after that. So it's wham, bam, and then it's thank you, man. With that being said, a lot to watch, and we'll continue to monitor. If you don't already follow me online, you can go to cappleweather.com and you can get all of the blog updates. You get the video updates there. And also on my YouTube channel, just look me up. That's meteorologist Jeremy Capple. Would love to have you. If you got something out of this video, please like it, share it, and spread it around. In the meantime, you guys stay safe out there, stay informed, and we'll talk to you soon.